Coming up on Unpeeled, this famous pop star is not obsessed with a government agency.
We're taking a trip down the yellow brick road for this TV special.
These professional sports players are causing some issues on the diamond.
And coffee drinkers are very excited for this company's new merch. All that and more, Unpeeled starts right now. Welcome to a brand new episode of Unpeeled. I'm Rickie Potts.
And I'm Victoria Daly. We're off to Wonderland with the announcement of this new movie musical. Sabrina Carpenter is going down the rabbit hole as she is set to produce and star in a movie musical based on Lewis Carroll's Alice in Wonderland.
Although the film is currently untitled and the plot is yet to be announced, this has been a passion project for Carpenter. The singer looks to return to the screen after previous roles in Tall Girl and The Hate U Give.
And speaking of singers, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inducted 15 new members in Los Angeles on Saturday. The new class includes Cyndi Lauper, Soundgarden, and the White Stripes, among others.
Lauper was inducted by Chappell Roan in a speech that paid tribute to her musical influence in the LGBTQIA+ community. The ceremony also saw Joe Cocker, Salt-N-Pepa, and Outkast get inducted. A special recap of the induction is set to air on ABC in early 2026. Victoria, talk about a beautiful, choreographed, spectacular ceremony that actually went over 4 hours on Disney+, but they really hammered down on the influence and impact of Cyndi Lauper.
I was locked in the whole 4 hours, but like you said, Cyndi Lauper's performances were my favorite. Her performance of True Colors, it was beautiful. I only knew that song from Trolls the movie, but now Cyndi Lauper's performance of it is now my new favorite version of it. But she had the rainbows on in the background. She asked the crowd to turn on their phone flashlights.
It was amazing.
It was just a beautiful and sweet tribute to the LGBTQ+ community. But what about you, Rickie? Who was your favorite performance of the night?
Cyndi Lauper, great performance. I love me some Salt-N-Pepa as well, but give me Outkast. Andre 3000 and Big Boy, they're super impactful in the rap game, especially in the 1990s in the South. I know my dad was always, trying to play their music for me when I was little. And I think this goes to show that in recent years, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame has really expanded the requirements to get in. So it's more like a music hall of fame now. And speaking of more singers, Olivia Rodrigo has spoken out after her music was used in a government advertisement without her consent. The Department of Homeland Security encouraged self-deportation through an Instagram reel with Rodrigo's song in the background.
Rodrigo responded to the video saying, quote, "Don't ever use my songs to promote your racist, hateful propaganda." However, she is not the only artist whose songs have been used. The White House posted a TikTok featuring Taylor Swift's new song, The Fate of Ophelia, likely without her consent, although she has not publicly condemned the use of the song.
And last night, Dancing with the Stars judge Derek Hough announced his third tour titled Symphony of Dance Encore. The tour will go from June through August of next year and stop in 40 cities across America. In a press release, the tour is described as high energy with astounding versatility.
Hough's show will come after the official Dancing with the Stars tour that features 10 of the current pros. Both tours will visit the Syracuse area. Symphony of Dance takes place on July 17th, and the official Dancing with the Stars tour arrives this January. Rickie, can we please go to the official tour together?
I want to. It really sounds great.
I love Dancing with the Stars, but first, Derek Hough. I watched him first when he was a pro on the show, and now as a judge. And since I've been a fan for that long, so many other people are too. And I think since he stayed with the show, he's really kept and acquired that fan base.
And that's, a big up to him for obviously, building this fan base over the course of the last, 10, 15 years. The show has become such a staple in our country. Everybody is always, talking about it as every new season comes out. But it seems like, this is a really big deal for a lot of people. You mentioned that this is not the first time that he's gone on a tour like this. I know he did one back in 2019, and then I believe in 2023 on top of last year for the holidays. So it seems like a lot of people are clamoring to get these tickets.
And just Dancing with the Stars tour too. The Dancing with the Stars, the show has just only grown over the years. Last night, their episode had the most voters in all of season history, all of the show history. So the show's just been great. So I'm excited for these tours. Let's get tickets soon.
I want to. I really want to. I really want to. But from the dance floor to the big screen, Lionsgate officially released the first teaser trailer for the new Michael Jackson biopic titled Michael. After only 24 hours, it racked up 116.2 million views globally. This officially makes it the most viewed trailer for any music biopic in history.
The film stars Jackson's nephew Jafar In the trailer, he is seen recreating the moonwalk and other iconic dance moves, and he also teases a clip of the Thriller music video. Michael will be in theaters in April of 2026. Now, just looking at that teaser trailer, we saw some famous celebrities who are also going to be in it. Miles Teller.
Yeah, his prosthetics look great.
And then actress Kat Graham and actor Coleman Domingo, they're also going to be in the film, so I'm super excited to see them.
Yeah, Coleman's going to be playing Joe Jackson, Michael's dad, and obviously that's a huge part of his life. You really can't tell the story of Michael Jackson without his relationship to his dad. But I feel like a big part of what's going to bring a lot of people to go watch this movie is not only his fans from when he actually was making music, but also us who got put onto his music by our parents, and now all these new generations that are either still learning about his music, learning about how much of an icon he was. And I've seen a lot of different chatter online about is this accurate? Why does he look like this in this stage of his life? So I feel like a lot of people are really going to learn that much more about Michael Jackson than we already do.
Yeah, the teaser trailer did great. That I think this new generation is still going to be into it and still going to flock to theaters to see it.
I'm going to go. I know that.
I'll go with you again. But when we come back, we're learning more about this year's Grammy nominations.
And we're off to see The Wizard as the second half of this popular movie adaptation comes to screens. Don't go anywhere, Unpeelers.
Excellent episode of Live from Studio B.
Grammy nominations were released earlier this week. Our music reporter Elizabeth Gottlieb has more on what's new and what's to look out for.
Well, that's music to my ears, Victoria. Grammy nominations are out for eligible works released between August 31st, 2024 and August 30th, 2025. Kendrick Lamar leads the pack with 9 nominations, including Album, Record, and Song of the Year. But there are some categories to keep a closer eye on. The Best New Artist category includes Olivia Dean and Katseye, as well as 2 former members of TikTok's Hype House. Addison Rae and Alex Warren are both nominated for the category, but did not receive any other nominations. The only artists in the category to receive additional nominations are Lola Young, Katseye, and Leon Thomas. The Grammys are introducing some new categories this year. The Best Album Cover Award recognizes the creativity and work of the art directors, as well as their collaboration with the musicians. This year, nominees include Chromacopia by Tyler, the Creator, The Crux by Joe, and Debí Tirar Más Fotos by Bad Bunny. Also new this year, the Best Country Album category is being retired and replaced with 2 new categories, Best Traditional Country Album and Best Contemporary Country Album. Some people pointed out how this change follows Beyoncé's Best Country Album win for Cowboy Carter this February. Andrea Williams, who writes about the history of Black musicians in the country music industry, says, quote, "It is to me so clear that this is just an opportunity to give white people more awards because the white people themselves have had a hard time fitting into that single country category." Despite the new categories trying to give more representation to the changing country industry, there were no country nominations in any of the 4 all-genre categories. But whether you agree or disagree with these nominations, the winners will be announced on February 1st, 2026. Back to you, Rickie.
Thanks, Elizabeth. From the Broadway stage to the big screen, the Emerald City is taking the media by storm. Fans were on the edge of their seat getting a glimpse of the upcoming Wicked movie. I'm here with Broadway reporter Kate Galante to tell us more about the Wicked One Wonderful Night television special. Kate, so happy to be here with you once again. Tell me all about Wicked One Wonderful Night.
Yeah, Rickie, so Wicked One Wonderful Night was a one-night-only television special on November 6th with NBC, held at the Dolby Theater. It was hosted by the iconic Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo, but also featured stars like Bowen Yang and Michelle Yeoh. They were accompanied by a live 37-piece orchestra performing songs from the Broadway musical and the films alike, but they actually premiered 2 new songs from the upcoming film being released later this month called No Place Like Home and Girl in the Bubble. So the whole point of this was really to get fans excited for the upcoming film release.
Well, it sounds like it was, it was a big hit, but what were some of the biggest moments from the special?
All right, so an obvious standout was Cynthia Erivo's performance of Defying Gravity, where she not only wowed audiences with her stunning vocals, but quite literally defied gravity and performed the song while swinging over the audience in a harness. But on a more serious note, Marissa Bode, the actress that plays Nessa Rose, introed the song, calling Defying Gravity kind of a song about authenticity and representation, but she mentioned it also referring to resisting a power-hungry dictator, which elicited a huge audience response, and so much so that NBC actually omitted it entirely from the broadcast. So clearly they didn't want to ruffle any feathers, but it was quite the political statement.
Yeah, Wicked has, touched so many people's lives, and what can, fans expect, coming up with the new release of Wicked for Good?
Yeah, so fans can expect to dive deeper into the complexities of Glinda and Elphaba's relationship. Fans were disappointed by the lack of Jonathan Bailey in the TV special. He apparently had a scheduling conflict, but he will be an integral part of the plot, obviously. And director John M. Chu actually hinted at some new plot additions that weren't featured in the original Broadway musical, such as a wedding between Glinda and Fiyero, which was teased in the trailer as well. So fans are very excited. I know I am. It's coming to theaters on November 21st, and I will definitely be there.
Just in time for Thanksgiving break. I'm going to have to get my ticket. Thank you so much, Kate. When we return, we break down what's been changing in the sports betting world. Be right back on Peelers.
Did you hear about the pony with a sore throat? He was a little horse. Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding. Why couldn't the Why was the basketball court all wet? Why? Because the players kept dribbling all over it. Where the cats go on vacation? New York.
Welcome back, Unpeelers. Over the weekend, 2 Major League Baseball players were indicted on gambling charges. That marks the second major crackdown of sports betting. Here to break down what is going on in the professional sports world is our sports reporter Nathaniel Cunningham. Now, Nathaniel, what has happened to these two players who were indicted?
Yeah, well, for Emmanuel Clase and Luis Ortiz, they're both facing up to 65 years in prison for intentionally throwing balls. They're trying to throw pitches outside the strike zone, and that's because they had gamblers, their bookies on the side, who were betting up to $10,000 on these individual pitches, and then they were going to receive some of the benefits. So Clase was reported to receive just about $5,000, and then Ortiz was received a little bit less than that. So not a ton of money, but intentionally throwing pitches outside the zone.
So why do you think we've seen then an increase in these sports betting cases?
Well, back in 2018, the Supreme Court actually overturned a decision that allowed sports betting outside of the city of Las Vegas and the state of Nevada as a whole. And what that started was really this idea of sports betting everywhere. And then you saw people like Jonte Cook in the NBA, Jamison Williams in the NFL, and you saw Shohei Ohtani's interpreter also go down for gambling. You're seeing it be more accessible, and that accessibility is what's hurting leagues.
You mentioned the MLB, the NBA, the NFL. So what are these leagues doing to prevent these cases?
Well, one of the biggest things is that ESPN actually has their own program, ESPN Bet. Well, they've canceled that deal with Penn Entertainment. That was a 10-year contract. They terminated 8 years early. So this is not like these leagues or these teams aren't taking this seriously. The MLB is also instituting a rule where you can no longer take a bet on an individual pitch for more than $200, and you can't include that bet in parlays. So it's not like these leagues are just kind of brushing this under the rug. It's a really big deal, and they're taking it seriously.
Thanks so much, Nathaniel. Over to you, Rickie.
Thanks, guys. The fashion and media worlds are colliding this week as Condé Nast folds Teen Vogue into Vogue.com, laying off several staffers in the process. Our business reporter Cami Bremer and fashion reporter Janae Horst break down what this merger means behind the scenes.
Thanks, Rickie. Condé Nast, the global publishing company behind Vogue, The New Yorker, Vanity Fair, and Wired, has officially ended Teen Vogue's 22-year run as an independent brand. This marks the first major move by new Vogue editor-in-chief Chloe Mal, who took over from Anna Wintour in September. The merger is part of a broader corporate strategy to cut costs and centralize editorial control under the Vogue umbrella, aimed at boosting digital traffic and ad revenue across Condé's platforms. The company says this change will help expand audience reach and streamline operations, though it hasn't disclosed any specific financial figures as of yet. The shakeup has led to layoffs of key staff, including politics editor Lex McMinimum and editor-in-chief Varsha Sharma, who helped turn Teen Vogue into a political and cultural voice for Gen Z. As seen in the now viral video, union leaders confronted HR, saying the cuts disproportionately targeted marginalized employees and reflected a shift towards a safer, more advertiser-friendly content over hard-hitting journalism. And while the business side is about consolidation and brand control, the fashion side is about image and influence and how Vogue's next era could redefine youth journalism. Janae has more on that.
Thanks, Cami. As the resident fashion and beauty reporter, Teen Vogue was my lifeline as a kid. The legacy of the magazine was not just important to youth around the world, but to the parents who sometimes just didn't have the words and could turn to the magazine they knew did. Teen Vogue was not just your average teenage magazine. It was a distinguished source of information that trusted its readers. The primary demographic was younger, yes, but the imagination and intellect behind the publication drew in numbers from across generations. In 2016, the magazine became synonymous with political coverage, working to inform its younger audiences about the real issues in our country. In fact, just this year, the magazine won the Freedom of Speech Medal. The presenter of the award, the Roosevelt Institute, said in a statement, "Teen Vogue has consistently been one of the only media outlets centering the perspectives of young people, and has done so with bravery and honesty. In a moment where our country is experiencing generational shifts in thinking, we are all worse off without their reporting." This is Chloe Mal's first big move, and it's not a good one. In a statement, both Mal and icon Anna Wintour maintain that Teen Vogue will still be a, quote, distinct editorial property with its own identity and mission. There was no mention of politics. Teen Vogue was never just a magazine. It mirrored a generation learning to speak up for themselves.
The layoffs are part of a bigger industry reckoning, and the consolidation is not only cutting costs, but part of a larger identity.
I'm Janae Horst.
And I'm Cami Bremer. Now back to you guys.
Thanks, Cami and Janae. But when we return, people are very crazy over this popular coffee shop's new merch drop. Find out more when we get back on Peelers. Nearly 15 years after its premiere, TLC's iconic reality television show Dance Moms is back in the spotlight. Just last week, new details emerged concerning the emotional toll the show took on its cast. Here to break down the newest tell-all is our reality TV reporter Lane Yeager.
Thanks, Victoria. At only 9 years old during the first season, former Dance Mom star Nia Sue was quickly conditioned to the wrath of Abby Lee Miller, the show's main personality, best known for her explosive outbursts and harsh teaching style. Many members of the show's original cast have spoken out about the emotional abuse they endured while on the show under Miller. However, Sue's treatment was unique due to her racial identity. Her newly released memoir, Bottom of the Pyramid, offers readers a glimpse into what her experience was truly like as the show's token black dancer for the majority of its run. In the memoir, she alleges a plethora of racist comments that were made about her body and appearance, including one incident during season 2 in which Miller asked her if she wished she had, quote, white girl hair. Sue also claims that Miller believed black people were, quote, physically predisposed to having flat feet. She recalls multiple comments Miller made towards her, going so far as to threaten to break her foot if she did not straighten it. Furthermore, during the show's 6th season, Sue alleges Miller would make remarks about her thighs in the dressing room, implying that she was fat because she did not work hard enough. The memoir has garnered lots of attention from fans of the show, as well as by former castmates. On the most recent episode of their podcast, Back to the Bar, Christy Lakaziak and Kelly Hyland, whose daughters were among the show's cast, shared that they were not given a heads up about the content of the book or the inclusion of the stories that featured their daughters. Hyland also criticized Sue's mother, Holly Frazier, for not pulling her daughter from the show. Frazier responded in a TikTok prior to the book's release, stating, quote, "Do not try to invalidate Nia's experience by trying to shift the blame on her mother. Shame on you." Sue has continued to thank fans for their endless support of the memoir and is currently on a book tour with her next stop on the 18th in LA. I'm your reality TV reporter, Lane Yeager. Rickie, back to you.
If you thought the holiday season was bringing cheer, well, check again. The new Starbucks Barista Cup has left customers in a frenzy that's just unbearable. Our pop culture reporter Sigourney Bell is here to tell us more. Sigourney, so excited to be here with you once again. Tell me all about this new craze with the Barista Cups.
So this year, like Starbucks usually does, they released some holiday merchandise that included a Hello Kitty cup, but people didn't care about that. What they cared about was this glass bear that was looking like a a Starbucks barista. It has the green beanie and everything. And what people loved about the bear is that it will change color depending on what color your coffee is. So it could be a black bear, a light brown bear, but people really wanted to get their hands on it. So much so that they were waiting outside stores until 2 a.m. And when they finally got in, it was a fight to the death to get these glass Starbucks bears. People were pushing each other, shoving. It was just a lot of frenzy. Now, if people were lucky enough to walk out of the stores with the bear, they might not even be using them. They were actually selling them online on eBay. They were selling for upwards of $200. I think the most expensive one I saw was $700.
For a cup?
For a cup that was selling for $30, which is just insane.
I mean, so it sounds like, it sounds great in theory, but I understand that, it caused a lot of online commotion and tension.
Oh, definitely it did. So a TikToker by the name of Cole Insider posted how he was standing outside of the Starbucks stores for 2 a.m., but when he finally got in there, it was actually Starbucks employees that were the ones that were checking out with the cup. He said that this was completely unfair considering that customers had been waiting outside. Now, there's kind of two sides to all of this. Some saying that the employees deserve the bears the most considering they work there. Other people are saying since customers were waiting, they deserve to get the bears as well. I'm kind of on the in-between side where I think Starbucks should have just set aside some barista cups for employees and for customers.
I mean, that makes complete sense, but what is Starbucks, doing about all this commotion?
Nothing. That's the best answer. They said they weren't expecting the bear to cause so much commotion, and they are not even going to be restocking it. They're sorry about the disappointment, but they have nothing else to give. Now, because baristas are kind of fed up with Starbucks at this point, they will actually be going on strike tomorrow, which is Red Cup Day for Starbucks, because they are really fed up with the work conditions from Starbucks. Now, people are really not happy with Starbucks' response to everything, but I think the best bet if you still want to get your hands on these cups, but also, not put Starbucks employees in a bad spot, go on Amazon, get a dupe. They're selling for about $20 there.
I mean, again, I think I would do that with how much these things are being sold for. Thank you so much, Sigourney. When we return, we're discussing the Pope's top 4 movies, and we're talking about our own favorites as well. You won't want to miss it, Unpeelers.
Great vlog, great.
Welcome to my house. Lately, not my happy place. Everybody's pretty tired of each other. The parents were not themselves. My little brothers were morphing into small creatures. The walls were closing in. Clearly, a case of too much family, too close, 24/7. And there's a lot of that going around right now. If this sounds like your house, try going someplace new. YourLifeYourVoice.org. You'll find lots of ideas to help you handle the family stresses of being confined to close quarters. YourLifeYourVoice.org. It might not get you out of the house, but it could help you find a little more breathing room.
Welcome back to Unpeeled. Yesterday, Pope Leo shared his favorite movies during an interview with Variety. This comes prior to his upcoming Vatican event where he will meet with Hollywood giants like Cate Blanchett and Spike Lee. The Pope has previously expressed his desire to, quote, deepen the dialogue with the world of cinema.
The 4 movies listed by Pope Leo were It's a Wonderful Life, Ordinary People, The Sound of Music, and La Vie est Belle. The top 4 movie format has been popularized by the movie app Letterboxd, so we decided to make our own. Now, Rickie, if we just look at Pope Leo's right here, though, which one would be your favorite out of the 4?
Oh, it has to be Sound of Music.
That's what I was going to say.
I mean, one of the most iconic movies of all time, and then, of course, It's a Wonderful Life. Great movie as well.
Yeah, I've never seen these 2.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think that's a little bit before our time. But if he says it's good, I would hope it is. So, but let's look at our own.
Yeah,
let's look at our own.
Let's see. Oh, here's mine.
So this is yours, okay? Oh, okay. So I'm not gonna say which one, but we have a common movie.
Oh, really? Okay.
Divergent.
I love Divergent.
Notebook. I mean, a lot of people love The Notebook, right?
How do you feel about Descendants?
I like other Disney movies better,
Okay.
but I respect it. I mean, it's your personal, so I really can't judge.
So let's look at yours, Rickies.
I mean,
oh, we got Die Hard together.
4 for 4. The greatest of all time, one of the biggest of all time, best animated movie of all time, and one of the best action movies
And
of all
it's
time.
a Christmas movie, right?
Yeah.
You agree with
I
that?
think it is. I think it is.
Unfortunately, that is all the time we have with you tonight.
Thanks for tuning in. Make sure to follow us on our socials at Unpeeled_Syracuse on Instagram and at CitrusTVE on X. I'm Rickie Potts.
And I'm Victoria Daly. We'll see you next Wednesday at 8 p.m. Stay warm, Syracuse.